Hi, welcome to my vlog where I'm presenting skills and capacities. Skill implies to the motor control while performing a certain movement, and capacity is the ability to perform a certain skill by having the capability to apply the necessary force, possess mobility, etc. We will be going through the skills and capacity issues for the back squat and the stiff-legged deadlift seen in different athletes. Athlete 1. So when we look at the back squat of this athlete from the side view, you could clearly see that the bar deviates from its path and there's a lot of imbalance. So we would further analyze it from the front view. Analyzing the starting stance of the athlete, you could clearly see that the left toe of the athlete is flared out, and this could be one of the possible reasons of the navicular drop seen on the left foot, and which goes up the kinetic chain and creates more imbalance, and that could be a possible reason which is making the barbell to lean towards one side. Now, to further check if this is a capacity issue or a skill issue caused due to the load of the barbell, we test the bodyweight squat of the athlete, and it is clearly seen when the athlete performs the squat that he follows the same movement pattern with the left toe flared out and the navicular drop. When the athlete performs the weight bearing lunge test, it shows that the right ankle has a very good range of motion while the left ankle really struggles by not letting the knees go past the toes unless an internal rotation strategy of the tibia is adopted, and this puts the knee in a valgus position. As the athlete complains a pinching sensation in front of the ankle while performing the weight bearing lunge test on the left side, a band is used to perform banded distraction on the left ankle to free up the joint capsule and help in regaining mobility of the ankle joint. A test-retest strategy is adopted, and after performing the banded distraction on the ankle, the athlete's bodyweight squat is retested, and it can be clearly seen that the athlete does not let his ankle collapse and shows a better range of motion. When the back squat is retested for the athlete shows a better movement quality without letting the toes flare out, thus indicating an improvement in his capacity to perform the back squat. Athlete 2. When this athlete performs the back squat, the bar drops on the left hand side, and this seems to be a capacity issue. But when we ask the athlete to do a bodyweight squat, she is able to achieve a full range of motion at the hip, knee, and the ankle joints without lateral deviation, and is also able to maintain a neutral spine throughout the movement. However, the athlete reaches the end range of the ankle dorsiflexion at a very early stage and again starts the concentric phase of the movement by rocking the knees forward, thus allowing the knees to take a greater load. Here we could see the athlete uses a knee flexion dominant strategy to initiate the movement and lacks the ability to control the movement with the torso already rotated before the start of the movement. This indicates that even though the athlete has a good mobility, she lacks control over this range. She would be benefited by performing various drills to improve core stability and control. Planks, side planks, and other bracing exercises would help in developing a good strong core and thus help in teaching control for dynamic exercises as well. When we test the front squat for this athlete, she shows better control throughout the range of motion. This indicates that she lacks the skill in performing a back squat but adapts well to anterior loading. Here, once again, while performing back squat, coaching to brace and learning to control the movement is adopted as the first step towards improving her squats. Now she demonstrates a better movement once focused on controlling the core. Even though the depth has reduced, it could be worked upon gradually by helping the athlete move towards a more hip dominant strategy in the later stages of her development. In here, for the stiff-legged deadlift, the athlete does not show control and is losing out on the neutral spine by rounding the lumbar region as the bar moves below a certain point. Also, the hips don't move back further, indicating a possible capacity issue with tight hamstrings, which is causing spinal flexion as a way to compensate for the hip flexion. This issue is confirmed in the straight leg test. We could clearly see that the hip range of motion is lacking, and this could be the reason for the spine to round when trying to perform hip flexion. In order to help the athlete get a better range of motion at the hip joint, we ask the athlete to perform a band supported single leg hamstring stretch, which would help in lengthening the muscles of the posterior chain, thus allowing for a better hip flexion range and also maintain a neutral spine during a hip hinge. Another drill to help the athlete get into an end range with a neutral spine is using the band to perform hip flexion with a neutral spine. The band guides the athlete to push the hips further, also stretching out the posterior chain muscles, and this would allow for a better neural adaptation for performing the stiff legged deadlift. Once the posterior chain muscles are lengthened, it allows the athlete to get a better hip flexion range as seen here. Athlete 4. Here, the bar is clearly deviating from its path, and the center of mass of the athlete shifts away from his base of support, putting him in a very unstable position. This could be due to the fact that the athlete does not retract his scapula, thus leaving the shoulders loose, and also is not engaging the shoulder extensor muscles. In order to activate the scapula stabilizers, the athlete is asked to perform banded pull-aparts. This is followed by a drill where the bar is offered resistance from the front and the athlete is cued to keep the bar as close as possible to the body. This would engage the shoulder extensors and put the shoulders in a stable condition. Now, after the previous drills, when the stiff-legged deadlift is performed again, the bar tends to stay over the base of support throughout the movement, indicating that the activation exercises and the cue to keep the bar as close as possible to the legs contributed towards correcting this issue. To conclude, I would like to state that it is important to find out the type of issue the athlete is having while performing any weight room activity. This will help in finding the root cause of the movement discrepancies seen in the athletes and thus plan the training program accordingly for the individual athlete. Finally, I would like to acknowledge all the athletes and everyone involved in helping me make this vlog.
Thanks a lot for watching.